Hey, John, welcome to the Onset India podcast. Glad to be here. Awesome. So, I think our journey goes back, 4 years almost. When we first saw you and Josh pitch, definitely there was a lot of, strong foundational team and the kind of concept that you guys were, coming on. It was a more of an ambitious journey, I would say, where you had thought of few things that the way that you want to execute and more from the tech side and more from the business side as well. And we have come down to the day where, the month where the token is officially launched, right? It's a big step.
Yeah, mainnet finally. It's been a long journey. Levitate Labs partners have been on this journey for 4 years, like you said. And we have a lot of other partners, investors that have been like, guys, when are you launching? And I think, I think investors, community members, they look at these L2s that are able to launch in like 6 months, 1 year. And I think in the industry in general, we have sometimes, short term mentality, thinking, we can launch quickly and we can get things done. But it's not necessarily the case for a completely rebuilt layer one. Now, of course, in hindsight, right now, a lot of our early backers are super happy. A lot of them are coming up to me and saying, how did you guys time this market so well? And I would love to lie and say we totally planned it out. But, anyway, the stars that have aligned. We took the time, we spent the research, the development, and we went through a lot of difficulty to get here, but we're here. We just launched mainnet. Our token is launched on exchanges. In hindsight, we made all the right decisions.
It's great to see the journey, from alive, and definitely, we're seeing like, good amount of use cases, and startups are pretty excited to build on Sweet. So my next question to you is, you've been coming to India quite often now.
Yeah.
And, the way that we have discussions, a lot of your engineering team, has some foundation roots from here. How is Supra's approach to India? More from development and also from, builders perspective.
Sure. So I'll tell a small story. So my co-founder, Josh, and we've been working together. It's been like a 7-year journey. And met him in San Francisco in January 2018. He moved to Taipei, where we started our crypto ladder. And one of the first things he told me is he said, John, you might not know this yet, but we're going to go big in India. He told me back then, and I personally didn't understand why, but he said, John, like, you might not understand this now, but we're going to go big in India in the future. And that stuck with me. I think Josh had a lot of experience. He had like 10 years experience building in Web 2, SaaS products. And he's worked with many different great Indian developers and also Indian developer teams. So he had that experience already. He had already understood the talent pool that exists here. And the idea, not only that a dollar can go a long way, but you can get exceptional talent here. And so that's the first part of the story of why India for us. And the second part of that story is the fact that Supra is a research-driven team. And our team is led by Dr. Annika Kate, who is the inventor of KZG, commitments KZG, polynomial commitments, which is the underlying of ZK technology. And also it is underlying of ETH 2.0 scaling. So Dr. Kate is famous in the cryptography world, and his notoriety, and he's of Indian descent. Of course, he's a Purdue professor, but his background just attracted like a magnet, amazing Indian research talents to our team. So it was just boom, automatic like magnet of great researchers. And we wouldn't have been able to do it without Dr. Kate and the amazing researchers that he was able to bring on board. And so that's the second part of the answer. And the third part of the answer is a more recent. Of course, I came here for the first time 2 years ago during ETH India. And also there was Polygon Connect. And I saw firsthand the talent here, but also the mixture of talent, humility, and hunger. wanting to,
Something.
make something happen. And those are three really important qualities that I do admire here and makes us want to go big. The last thing is I've been watching what Super Team has been doing. Super Team Dow. The West doesn't know that they started here. Like it was a grassroots community that started in India. And we can base a lot of the success of Super Team Global because of India and because they kickstarted it here. And I think from Supra's perspective, we want to take that strategy of what worked well. And of course, we'll put in our own flavor of how we can build community here, how we can attract developers. But I think it is just one more thing, one more stamp of approval of why we should make India a spearhead for Supra. Last thing, I promise. Last thing is this. Obviously this is coming from from deep in our team's deep beliefs. But our team, we have about 130 people. We have a big team, and 60 or 70 of them are based in India. So we have a big India team. So we already have a big base here. Everyone works remote, but we have a big team here. And yeah, this is one of our main markets that we are going to do well in.
Awesome. Coming to the last question, how does 2025 look for Supra?
So 2025 looks good for most everyone in our industry. The last administration in the US, the regulatory concerns and risks were really stressful, not only for us, but many entrepreneurs, and not just Americans. I'm American, Josh, like Ohio's American, but it's regulatory burdens and concerns that ripple throughout the world. Even in India, I know they probably adopt some things that the US might have done or restrictions that the US has imposed. And so, we've experienced where the US government, for whatever reason, incentivized banks to close down bank accounts, including our own. We were bankless for a bit, if you can imagine. Of course, in Web3, we got to learn to be banks. But in order to operate and have payroll and to deal with everyday expenses, you need a bank account, you know? And that was a big burden on us. And we're just so happy that in 2025, we have a new administration that is pro freedom of speech and also seems to be pro freedom of banking. I think the freedom of having a bank account, the freedom of securing your own wealth and assets, it might be a basic human right, like freedom of speech. And so I think that's something that not only Supra will benefit from, the Levitate Labs, you're going to benefit from this. The industry at large is already benefiting from it. And I see a huge boom in innovation because regulatory risks are lower. You can imagine the amount of money people had to spend on legal just to basically protect themselves, not only from attack, but just, to know that they're following the rules. It slows down innovation. And I'm really excited. Even now, I'm even excited. I could even move back to the US. And I think that's great for the US economy, that entrepreneurs will spur innovation in Web3. I hope this ripple effect happens in India. I'm really looking forward, but we have 67 employees here. I can't imagine the burden when they dinner with their family. They might be dealing with risk of getting this crypto transfer or, working for a Web3 company. We need to reduce that risk and that burden, and it'll open up new possibilities. And I'm excited for that in 2025. I'm also excited for the narratives in the Web3 space. The modular narrative of launching all these L2s, I believe, was this year. I think 2025, we're going to see new narratives. We would love to see vertical integration as a polar opposite of modularity become something big. We would like to see that. We are seeing that with high throughput chains like Supra, Apta, Sui, Solana. We're seeing that this monolithic thesis play out, and we're seeing how developers, consumers, sometimes they prefer, from a user experience perspective, these monolithic chains. And so what Supra is bringing to market is more than just a monolith chain. We're building a mega monolith. As you know, of course, we're integrating oracles, bridging. We also have some unique concepts of an app chain, chains that can exist directly on our layer one. So we're really all about vertically integrating all these services into one token to rule them all. So that's one thing I'm excited about. I hope vertical integration becomes a thesis and it becomes a narrative that is really pushed forward. And we're going to definitely we're going to work to push that forward. I also see 2025 as the year of Move, the Move programming language and Move VM. You have really great innovation and strong teams, a lot of capital in this space, and developers, they love it. Move is really great, a secure programming language. So I'm excited to see that in 2025. And so these are the two big narratives that I like. Meme coins, I hope that it doesn't die out, but it doesn't become the main focus. I would love to see the focus come back a little bit to utility tokens, infrastructure, but mainly, even above that, the application layer. Right? And so applications and launching new innovative apps and games, hopefully that becomes some bigger focus than gambling on meme coins.
Awesome. Thanks, John. I mean, it was lovely to have you here and knowing your thoughts. I know we're going to do a detailed one, probably, in month of Jan.
Let's do it.
But thanks for believing in India. Thanks for believing in the developers and the team. And hopefully we Supra across the new heights in 2025.
Let's do it. Thank you for believing us. Let's fucking move.